So as I mentioned earlier, many people confuse stratified sampling and cluster sampling. In both cases, we start out by breaking the population into these subgroups, but in stratified sampling, you use all the groups and some of the members in each group. Cluster sampling is the other way around. So here we use some of the subgroups, and we take all the members in each of those subgroups, and none of them from the unchosen groups. So the 4 sampling techniques that were presented all have advantages and disadvantages. There's another sampling technique that is sometimes utilized because either the researcher doesn't know better or it's just easier to do. In other words, it doesn't give us very good samples usually. This sampling technique is known as a convenience sample, and this sample will not result in a representative sample and should be avoided whenever possible. So a convenience sample is one where the researcher picks individuals to be included that are easy for the researcher to collect. Sometimes I call this the hey you sampling method. So it's just where, so you're a student and you're supposed to be collecting data for some class, for some project over the whole semester, it's due tomorrow, and so you just, go to the cafeteria and just grab some people, or just, in the hallway you say like, hey you, can you take my survey? And just trying to grab whatever people you can for that sample. So a convenience sample. As an example of a convenience sample is if you want to know the opinion of people about the criminal justice system, and you stand on a street corner near the county courthouse and question the first 10 people who walk by. Again, first 10 people, it's convenient for you. You get to, get your work done earlier that day and go home versus like, taking every 10th or doing something to try to make a random sample here. The people who walk by the county courthouse are most likely involved in some fashion with the criminal justice system, and their opinion would not represent the opinions for all individuals. On a rare occasion, you do want to collect data for the entire population, and if this is the case where it's actually feasible to do so, that's called conducting a census. So this is when every individual of interest is measured or surveyed. So in this case, our sample that we collect is the entire population that we're interested in.